Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I finally got some good Laker news to hand you guys. As I've always mentioned in regards to COVID protocol, you can submit two negative COVID tests within 24 hours of being entered into the protocol and still be eligible to play, and that is exactly what we have here with Malik Monk. He was able to submit two negative tests and will be available to play going forward. So we're going to at least have Malik Monk back available for the next game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, which I think is massive. It's massive for a plethora of reasons. One, we're obviously shorthanded to no end with Russell Westbrook and now Avery Bradley being added to that list of players. Dwight's still out. And of course, we're missing the players that have always been injured. We know who they are: Trevor Ariza and Kendrick Nunn. They haven't played all season. So, this is going to help. And not only that, but I think just honestly, personally, for Malik Monk, I think it was very important that he would be able to get back out there and continue his play because of what Austin Reeves just did in the last game. They both play the same position. Two of the most consistent shooters on our team. And I don't want Malik Monk to lose any steam in terms of being able to keep his minutes and solidify his spot on this team as our shooter. I think that they both play well with one another. They both are smart basketball players. Both shoot the ball obviously extremely well, and I love having them both on this team. And I think with Avery Bradley being out, Russell Westbrook being out, and of course the players already mentioned, there's going to be more opportunities for Malik Monk and Austin Reeves to really take advantage and step out and do what it is that they do. Austin had his breakout game in the last game, and I was screaming for him to get the starting nod. However, Malik Monk can very well turn around, do some things in his best way, and make you feel the same way. So you want that to still be the case with those young players, those young shooters. Those are two of our great shooters on this team. And of course, when it really comes down to it, without Russell Westbrook, we're just going to need more from our guard play. So that means both of them are going to be relied upon very heavily to hold that down. It's going to be more LeBron James facilitating the ball. I think it's going to be much more of him ball handling, obviously, without Russell Westbrook. And we're going to see those shooters be the recipient of those plays, along with our other shooters, of course. Carmelo Anthony, Wayne Ellington, who's coming off a fantastic game himself. You just love what you're seeing out of our young shooting guards and our shooting guard position in general right now. Obviously, we're going to be bringing in IT, but I don't expect him to get a whole lot of minutes early. But he will be playing because he's on a 10-day contract, which is something I did not know when I made my 10-minute IT video. He's on a 10-day contract with some type of special exception. I'm not familiar with that type of exception, hardship, something. I've never heard of it before until today. So, it's not a guarantee that IT is going to stay with the team for longer than that 10-day period. But judging from what I've seen in the highlights of him playing recently, he's definitely ready to go. So I expect him to continue to show us that he's that guy and ultimately earn himself a second 10-day and hopefully from there we can get him on here for the rest of the season. So that's what I hope to see. And with that being said, I don't know how that's going to affect the shooting guards and the rotation that I just mentioned. But what I will say is, being that he's new, I wouldn't expect us to try to trot him out there at point guard to replace Russell Westbrook or nothing crazy like that. But I do expect that with him, IT, Malik Monk, Austin Reeves, and Wayne Ellington, we have a hell of a lot of shooting down there for LeBron James to get the ball to. So those are going to be the guys we have trotting out there, man. And I like it. I'm not upset at all. It's kind of strange because our shooting guard position, one of the things about our team that's not so good is the fact that we have such trouble on the perimeter. But when I start thinking about the players that I really, really like on this team, they are kind of the guys that don't really help us in those areas. So I would love for the Lakers to just try to see if they could swing a trade to get somebody who can help us with our perimeter defense, so that we can keep these wonderful offensive shooters that we like so much, and still have defense on the floor to help us. As a team, we've been getting a lot better defensively, as I mentioned in my previous video about the Lakers. Over the last 8 games or so, we've turned into being one of the more productive defensive teams in the league, secretly, basically. And It's one of those situations where you just don't want to see us take any steps backwards with that. But with players going in and out of the lineup, it's kind of hard to see that not being the case. However, with you picking up a talented player like Isaiah Thomas, you best believe he's going to make an impact with whatever big minutes he gets. It's just his DNA. So I'd imagine if his conditioning is where it needs to be and we give him enough minutes, he will remind us that he belongs in this league right away. So, I don't expect him to have any issues with the time given, and I expect good things out of our guards. We're just not going to have the defense that we need, and that's just what it's going to be. So we're lacking size, we're lacking defense, all of that, but we are bringing in IT. We do have Malik Monk, and that's a very good thing. Now, I'm going to segue into a different aspect of this conversation, keeping it with the Lakers, but I've been thinking about something, and I've mentioned this here and there and everywhere, really, but we're going to get into my thought right now. Anthony Davis's production or lack thereof, and the acceptance that our team is just going to be mediocre while he's on the roster. I don't want to do that no more. And I understand that the conversation has always been on this channel about, AD's being a player that we can't trade, and I don't want to trade him. I have no interest in trading him. But I look at his contract and I look at the production. I look at his attitude or how it appears to me. Then I look at his production again, and I look at that contract, and you understand what I'm saying? It's like, it's getting to a point where, we're paying $600 million for this roster, and we're accepting being mediocre? Now, Russell Westbrook has not been a problem in any way, shape, or form since probably week 3. We've been loving his play as of late. And LeBron James is LeBron James. But Anthony Davis is the guy who I'm looking at and I'm saying, our team ain't supposed to suck with you on it. I'm not, as a Laker fan, I'm not supposed to be looking at the screen saying, yeah, we just kind of suck. It's okay, though, because we got some players coming back and everything's going to be fine. Well, we got Anthony Davis on our team. Shaq has called him out. Big Perk has called him out. Everybody, all of the people that I've paid attention to have called him out. Chuck has repeatedly called him out. I've gotten on my little channel, called him out all the time, all day, all night. But now I'm sitting at a point where I'm starting to settle into the idea that I'm just supposed to be fine with him not playing well. It's one of those situations where it's like, okay, well, yeah, AD's not going to really give us a lot. So we get something from Bron, and we get something from Westbrook, then we can find a fight into these games. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait a minute. What kind of return can we get for Anthony Davis? Let's just be honest. For the returns that we would receive for Anthony Davis, would in a million years would we ever consider settling for being mediocre? That's the question I have for you. It's not about the return we get for Anthony Davis. If we were to trade something that we wanted for Anthony Davis and we got it back, would we be satisfied with settling with the idea of us being mediocre? And the answer is, of course not. Because an Anthony Davis return is going to net you a superstar or a plethora of picks or a plethora of role players and picks and a star. Like, you're going to get a whole team for this man. A whole team. You saw what we gave away. Ball, Ingram. I think Ball's going to be an all-star before you know it, probably as soon as this season. Ingram was the all-star last year. Josh Hart's having a good year. DeAndre Hunter's had his issues with his play, and his health rather, but he's a very good player. And if I was picking with that pick, I would have taken Darius Garland. You see what he turned into. So essentially, in my mind, I'm not even thinking about DeAndre Hunter. I'm thinking that's Darius Garland. Darius Garland had a game where he scored 25 and 14 assists. Like, he's putting up Chris Paul numbers. That's what we gave away just to get AD. And now I'm sitting here with 20 and 12 in an overtime game on the road when they ain't got their best player. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, well, Anthony Davis did some good things, and it was good to see him do some good things. He really is playing well on the inside, even though he's struggling, and it doesn't look like he's moving with his foot speed. But if he just does a little bit, I'm like, wait a minute. Hell no. Not with this dude making $200 million. Like, I had a Eureka moment this morning while I'm sitting here listening to my video, as I'm sitting here just kind of just chilling in regards to AD, and maybe we can try to light a fire on it, but it's not gonna work, so we can just chill. Hell no. I'm a Laker. I grew up on Shaq. I grew up on Powell. I grew up on Kobe. I grew up on Derek Fisher and Robert Horry. I ain't up for none of this. So let me tell you what I'm gonna say here. If Anthony Davis don't get his crap together, we're going to start talking about trading Anthony Davis. And I don't give a damn what he can affect on this team. Because at the end of the day, you're making $200 million, and I can get a hell of a lot for $200 million. I can go get Trae Young right now. I can possibly get Joel Embiid right now. I can go get Karl Anthony Towns right now. Possibly get me one of these youngsters like Edwards. Get me look at all the players we can get, bro. We can get Bradley Beal possibly. Go get us Jason Tatum. Like, when you really start thinking about what Anthony Davis is worth, you suddenly don't have as much patience for just being patient. And that's exactly the type of Eureka type of moment that I had, the type of awakening and clarity that just came to me this morning. Maybe it's the lack of weed, I don't know. But suddenly, I don't have no patience for Anthony Davis' mediocre play, and I don't want him on my team if he ain't going to get better, and I don't care why that is. Whether it be his decline, whether it be he's happy or sad, whether it is he just wants to go back to Chicago, I don't give a crap. I want my team to be good. I want LeBron James' tenure to be straight. I don't want to have to trade away Russell Westbrook so we can get better when he's playing well. What is this? I'm sitting up here saying, man, we got to trade Russell Westbrook because his contract's bad. The man's playing well. Like, at some point in time, you got to say, Russell ain't the problem. Well, all intent and purposes, Russell Westbrook is an MVP. So, if we really want to consider what's going on, the guy who's playing the worst right now, the guy's the youngest one, who's playing the worst, who's probably get us the best return, is the one who's playing the worst. And we're supposed to just accept that because, he's just going through the motions and it's cool. Hell no, it ain't cool. I grew up on Shaq. It ain't cool. I grew up on Kobe. It ain't cool. So my patience, just at random, disappeared. I don't have it. Anthony Davis needs to get his crap together. I'm going to be calling for his head. I'll trade him for Domantas Sabonis and a combination of Sabonis, what's his name? Turner. You can give me Brogdon. I want the whole team, mind you. I'm not gonna give him away for nothing. I want everybody starting five. Give me a Carmelo Anthony, Denver Nugget type return for Anthony Davis because that's what he's worth, right? So that's what I would be willing to give him up for. But what I'm saying is, if he don't start getting his crap together, it's not Russell Westbrook's head I'm gonna be calling for. It's his. Because at the end of the day, yeah, he's a unicorn. He can do a lot of things. But guess what? Now there's two of them in this league. Evan Mobley has officially become the new Anthony Davis. He's here now. So you ain't the only one who can do what you do, bro. And honestly, as a Laker fan, I'm appreciating your championship. I appreciate all you've done. But we got players going down the lineup with this COVID crap. We sitting up here getting out-rebounded by teams that suck. And we got you on this team making $200 million. No more. No more. I'm done. BDF 44 is done. I want Anthony Davis on this team playing well. If he ain't going to play well, I want him traded. My name is BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.